Well, hello and happy Saturday. I hope you're having a great day so far. I know I am. My name is Wendy Robinson, and I want to welcome you to How to Do More on Your Website Using the Page Builder Elementor. Um, we're going to get into it in a minute. My messy bun is still not really what I would like it to be, but it's wash day, so got to put it up in a bun and get it out of the way. Plus, it's really hot here in Charlotte. Um, I'm so happy to be here with you guys this Saturday, just for a few moments. This live stream today is something I wanted to do on the last live stream we did 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. Was it last week? I can't remember. Days are just merging into each other. But I don't like to keep you guys online long. All right, that one went over an hour, and so I promised that I would come back and show you some more about what you can do with Elementor. And this is bugging me. Okay, it's okay now. All right, it is what it is. You're gonna get me like I am. So anyway, Elementor. Oh, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Wendy Robinson, and I own Wendy J Creative, a boutique agency of developers, including myself, web designers, and brand specialists that help experts automate their business processes online. So if you have a business and you're doing business online, there clearly are many things that you can automate and set up and forget it, right? Well, not really forget it, but saves you time, saves you money, and really gives your customers and clients and potential clients really an experience online that keeps them coming back to you for more. And today, in today's world, people want things quickly and they want things when they expect them. And some of the challenges that I see are that entrepreneurs get stuck with setting up all the technology and the automation they need in their business. Things like setting up your freebie, an opt in page, either on a third party platform or on your website, setting up your email sequences to go out after someone has opted in to your freebie or free offer, or even a paid offer. Making that experience seamless for your prospect is going to help them to keep coming back to you, to ask you for more, and to give you credibility in your business. And so, setting that stuff up, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make it easier for you so you can do all the work that you started your business for in the first place. You don't want to be wasting time setting up technology, setting up email sequences, um, posting every day online manually. You can set some of that stuff up, all types of automation. And so that's what we do at Wendy J Creative. And so today, in the last couple of series, I've been talking about your website. Now, I use WordPress for my website. It's versatile. It's very, very flexible. You just have to learn how to use it. And that's what I am trying to share with my community, all the different ways you can use it in your business. And today, I'm going to be sharing a plugin with you that you can use with your WordPress website theme and building your website in order to build pages more easily and efficiently. So, we're going to build a really quick easy page today, but I want to also show you some elements of Elementor and how to use it and how easy it is to drag and drop it around, just like you do in Canva or PicMonkey or any other of the tools that are available to entrepreneurs today. So, without further ado, let me share my screen. Let me take a sip of water and we're going to get started. All right, let's change my background so it looks different. Okay, so what you're looking at now is a brand new page that I just added to my website. I'm gonna build this page from scratch, and I'm gonna show you all the different ways you can build this page. Now, I struggled a little bit with what kind of page I was going to build with you guys. I don't want to keep you long, so I'm going to go through a couple of things. Um, and show you a few ways to really use it. But you can really build anything with Elementor. You can build a regular web page. You can build an opt-in page, a landing page, really a thank you page. If someone purchases something or downloads one of your free offers, you can send them to either a canned page from whatever service you're using. For instance, I use ConvertKit for my email service provider. So they do have options, default pages that you can use to thank someone, or the page that the person navigates to after they've clicked the submit button. But you can also create custom pages and direct those subscribers or people who have opted in to your or purchased something from you. You can now have them navigate to a customized thank you page or even a tripwire page. We won't get into all the details about that, but you can do that with Elementor on your WordPress website. So let's get started. Let me take a sip. All right, so again, what you're looking at is a brand new page, plain page on my website. WordPress gives you the option of either using their classic editor or their new Gutenberg editor. So it may look a little different to you. I still use the classic editor because I started using WordPress years ago. And even though I've used Gutenberg, I really just haven't gotten used to using it. So I always use the classic editor. And so that's why this may look a little bit different than it does in your website. And so the first thing you want to do is give your website a title. So I'm going to go here and put in this test opt-in page. Or actually, let's do create a freebie that really works. Okay. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about that, I'm actually working on a masterclass called Create a Freebie That Really Works. So why not start the opt-in page here right now, right? While I'm working with you. So you give your page a title. And down here in this section here, once you click out of this box and click down here, what happens is WordPress automatically assigns a permanent link or a permalink to your page, and that becomes the URL or the web address for that page once you publish it. Okay. It usually takes all of the words that you put in the title and then creates a forward slash and then a page URL right after your web address. So as you can see, it says https //wendyj.com / and then the name of the page. So if this was my home page and I named it home, it would have created a link that says home, etc. All right. So then what you want to do, what you can do is you can either create this page using the WordPress editor, which is what you see here, or you can say, you know what, I want to create this page with Elementor. And to do that, all you would do is click this button. Now, caveat, stick a pin right here. Even though this WordPress website has a theme, I think the theme that I'm using here is Oceans WP. I can't remember. It's either Oceans WP or Astra, which are the two themes that I use. You can either use the WordPress editor, which is going to create the page with elements that look like the theme, or you can add a plugin, this plugin called Elementor, and then it turns this page, once you click that blue button, into a drag and drop environment. And so let's see what that looks like. Click the Edit with Elementor button. It does some things, and then it's going to open up a page that we'll have widgets on the left, Elementor widgets, and a canvas or a blank area on the right that kind of looks like my website. So as you can see, here's my my company name and then my navigation up here. Now you can't edit that here because that is part of your website's theme. Shut that up in a different area, and that's another class for another day. But down in this area, it's blank, and then you see also you see the footer here. Oh, I am using the Astra theme for this. Okay, anyway. So what you want to do is in this blank area, this is where you can drag and drop certain elements to create your web page. Okay, and what we want to create is a simple opt-in page for a class that I'm having called Create a Freebie That Really Works, right? The first thing you need to do though, because it's just a blank canvas, you need to create a section, all right? And to do that, you click on this little plus sign here. And when I click on that, you get different choices here. There's little grayed out icons of how you want the first section of this page underneath the header to look. Do you want one column? Do you want two columns, three columns, four? Do you want two columns? One on the left is narrower than the one on the right. Vice versa, two columns wide on the left, narrow on the right, or any combination of these, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the two column because what I want to do is I want to have text and images on one side, and I want to have my form, my opt-in form on the right side. So I'm going to click the two column icon, and then what it's going to do, it's going to create a section with two columns in it. So now I have this section that is designated by this blue line and a blue tab in the middle of the screen. And I'll explain what these little icons on the section tab mean in a minute. And then within that section, you have two columns, and your columns are designated by these little black boxes. Okay? All right. Now, the widgets are what goes inside of the columns. The widgets that we see over here, well, right now what you see on the left is edit section. And that's because the only active item on this page right now, or the item that's ready to be edited, is the section. If I click on one of the columns buttons here on the left, this leftmost area, the left side changes to edit column. If I click this button, it still says edit column, but I'm editing the column on the right. Okay. These little items that slide out from the box, these are editing options. This first one is you can duplicate a column. So now that there's three columns, right? You can add a column, which is the same thing if it's blank. If there were items in the column when I hit that duplicate button, it would have copied everything that was already in there, whether there was text in there, picture, whatever. And then to delete, so now I have four columns. To delete, you just click the X. There's three, and now one more time, click an X. Okay, so now I have a section with two columns. Now I'm going to drag some elements over here, some widgets, into these columns. The first thing I want to drag into the left column is a heading. So you click and drag this widget here with the big T on it and the word heading, and you just click and drag it until you see a blue line, and then you drop it. So right now there is a heading here called Add Your Heading Text, and over on the left, this heading becomes the active edited widget. Say that 3 times fast. And here you can type anything that you want. Would you like to create a freebie opt-in page? Okay, it's a question, right? That someone who lands on this page might be asking themselves, or they may say, yes, I want to learn how to. So they may be interested, and it's in big type so that they can see it first thing they see. The other thing you can do right now, it's left justified. You can change the alignment here. You can center it. You can justify it to the right, or you can spread out the words, which is spread out in the entire width of this particular element. So now on this page, you have a section. If you click that button, edit section shows up over here on the left. If you click this column is now the active thing that you can edit. Or now that we've dragged a title over here or a heading, this blue box over on the right with the pencil is what you would click to make this element active over on the left. Okay? So I want to back up a little bit and go to the section. If you notice, there's some white space on either side of the group of columns here. There's white space here and white space here. That's because this is a default setting for this section. Okay, it's kind of moving things into a boxed format. And so there's going to be white space all the way down this page if we don't change that section, that setting. So inside this section, anything we add underneath it, underneath each of the column widgets as we build it, will have that white section. It's a standard in web design, but if you wanted it to be full page, all you would have to do is change this content width to full width, and it would spread out the two columns. So now the two columns are spread out evenly across the entire page. There's no white space. Okay, we're going to go back to box. There's some other settings here. If it's boxed, I'm not sure what the default width is. I think it's responsive to the screen. But if you wanted it to be a particular width, you could move this bar, right? So right now it's very narrow. And as I increase the width, it spreads things out. So you could also do that. Or you could just get rid of the numbers in this box and it goes to the default. Again, I don't know what that width is, but it's a standard default for this page. So now what I want to do is I want to show you how to add more widgets to each of these columns. So we have I'm going to change this to centered so it looks nicer. I'm going to add in, let's add in let's add in a smaller piece of text. So to do that, you're going to click this little icon here that looks like 9 little boxes. And what that does is it changes from editing the element that you clicked on last to the widget area. And if you look here, there's a text editor, and that's what we would use for a smaller amount of text. So we're going to click and drag that over until there's a blue bar underneath the heading and drop it. So now you have a heading and some text. And if you look over here to the left, it looks almost like a Word, Microsoft Word, or some sort of desktop publishing app, right? For some plain text. And you can format the text in here if you want by using these elements, but there's also a way for you to format this text by clicking on this style button. I'm going to go back to the heading really quick so I can show you how to style this before we move on to the text. To style this heading, if you notice, I clicked right in here, or you can click the blue box to make the heading active over here. Click on the style icon here right underneath where it says edit heading. And you'll have some options to style this text. You can change the text color. You can change the typography or the font for this text. There's something here called text stroke. I never use it, but you can experiment with that. You can add a shadow to the text, and then something else here called blend mode. I never use that. All right, so let's change the color of the text. The default colors of this theme will show up if you click this little icon here that says default, but you can also click custom, you can create custom colors or choose custom colors by clicking on this, this icon here with the red line. So we're going to click that and we're going to choose something, I don't know, let's keep it red and move the little bar up here so that it's red, so that it stands out. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to choose a typography, click that pencil, and then you can choose all kinds of different styling options. We're going to click the default drop down next to family, and you'll see a multitude of fonts that you can choose from. As you scroll through, you'll see the typeface actually changes to what it would look like. I kind of like that one. So let's choose that one. Or let's see, what else do I like? You can also search for a, excuse me, particular font. Let's use Railway. And then let's change the weight of this font. Right now it's a default. I think the default is probably around 400. So let's change it to 600 so it makes it more bold. Okay. You can also transform this text, uppercase, lowercase, capitalize each word, and the style. It can be italics. It could be oblique. I don't really see a difference there, but let's just go with the default, which is normal. And then decoration, underline. You can overline. I don't know anyone that uses that. Or you can use this to strike through. People use this when they're showing, for instance, a reduced price for an offer on the screen, right? So let's just leave it the default. And you can change the height of the letters. And if you want to go back to the default, just delete those characters. The letter spacing, you can space out the letters so there's more white space. And then you can also, this is a new setting that I haven't seen in a while, you can actually add space between the words. Okay. Pretty neat, huh? We're just going to leave it as is. And then if you click on this custom icon here, there are several default settings that come with WordPress, and those will show up here. So if you have certain settings for these defaults when you set up your theme, you can also take advantage of those so that your site is more cohesive. Most people use these settings when they're building their actual core web pages and not special pages like an opt-in page. Okay. So there's two settings there. You can choose your theme default, or you can choose some of the Elementor settings that you can use to change the font. Okay. The last thing I want to show you here, like I said, I don't use text stroke much. I don't even know what it does. I guess it's the actual outline of, that's what it looks like, the outline of the words. Pretty neat, but we won't use it. And then the last thing is the text shadow. Some people like to put a shadow behind their words to make them jump off the page a little bit. And to take it off, all you do is, or to reset it, you just click this little icon here that looks like a backward circle arrow, and it takes it off. Okay. All right. So that's how you format your text. One more thing I want to show you. Since this is an opt-in page, I do not want to show my heading or the footer, the heading on this page, because I don't want people to navigate somewhere else. And so what I'm going to show you is down here on the bottom left where it says settings, you can change the settings for the entire page. Okay, if you click that icon, a little gear shift, you'll see here something called page layout. And right now it's using the default setting for a new page on this website. So if you click that down arrow, you'll see a couple of more choices here, you'll see Elementor Canvas and Elementor Full Width. Now remember, you could also change the section to be a full width, but here's where you can change the entire page that you create to be full width. Elementor Canvas means it's a blank page that you build. All right, so we're going to choose Elementor Canvas, and the page is going to go blank for a second. And what you will see is you will see no footer and no header, no navigation. Okay, so it's going to sort of look like a opt-in page where you can't navigate somewhere else. All right, if you had the web address, obviously you could, but we're not using it for that purpose. And so now what I want to do, because everything that I have built on the page has moved up, so it looks like there's no space on top, I'm going to click this button here so that I'm editing the section. And I'm going to put some white space on the top and the bottom, some padding in between, or actually margin. So now I want to go to this third tab called Advanced, and there's some things you can do here. So if you notice here, the left and right side, it says auto, and you can't change that. That's because the setting for the left and right of this section is controlled by the section. So you can't change those, but you can put some margin at the top and bottom. So we're going to put 50 at the top and bottom, just to give the top and the bottom some white space. Okay, so it doesn't look like everything is hitting the top of your computer screen, or whoever navigates to this page. It doesn't look like it's at the top of the screen. All right. All right. So now what we're going to do, one last thing I want to show you, or two things I want to show you before we finish for the day, is over here on the right, I'm going to go back to the widgets, and I'm going to pull in an image. And I'm going to pull in the image, and I'm going to put the image in between the heading and the text. All right. So now I get to choose the image. And if you know anything about WordPress, you know that there is an area in WordPress called the media library. The media library is where all of your images and or documents are stored if you're storing them on your website. Now, I don't advise that you store a lot of files on your website other than the ones that you need to render your website and the way it looks on the website. Especially if you're a coach or a consultant that gives away a lot of documents, or you have a lot of documentation like PDFs or Word documents that you want people to download. Because if you don't have a very, very large server space on where your website is stored, like on a hosting company like Bluehost or SiteGround or HostGator, you'll run out of space and it'll slow your website down. All right. But for images for the website, all you do is to pick an image here, go over to the left, because now that's the active widget that we're editing. And you click anywhere inside here to choose an image. And what opens up is your media library. So these are all the pictures that I've stored. Well, some of the pictures, the first 80 pictures. You see, I have over 700 media items. I have a large server space, so that's why I have so many. And so we're going to choose this pretty pygmy right here. Click on it, and you'll see a little check mark. And then down here on the right, we'll click Insert Media. All right. So now that's a portrait style picture. So you may want to choose a picture that is more square and not as long as this one. So let's choose another one. Let's see what that one looks like. That one's a little bit more square. All right, that's better. So now you can see the heading and the text. And again, if you want to change the text here, I didn't prepare any text to create this page, but you can type anything in here that you want. I'm going to click undo so there you go. Filler text stays in there. But let me show you a couple of things you can do with this picture. So if you click the picture, so that you're editing the picture, because I clicked on the text here, so now that's what's over here. Click on the picture, and it changes over here. You can do a few things with this. You can put a link underneath this picture so that when people click on the picture, it goes to a particular URL. You can create a caption to go under this picture. We don't want to do that because we're using this picture as decoration for the page as opposed to a gallery or something like that where you're describing what's in the picture. You can align the picture left, center, or right inside the area that's here. We're going to keep it center. And you can choose the image size that goes in here relative to the actual dimensions of the picture. So if you look at this picture, it looks like it's almost square. But if I wanted to make it smaller, I might pick the medium size and it makes it a little bit smaller, even though the original size of the picture is larger. We're going to keep it at large just so it fills up the page. And one of the things that you can do in style, which I like to do to give it a little more depth, is put a shadow around it. So if you click on style, and then there's certain things you can do with the width, the max width. We're going to take all of those out because we just want the default. The height is another setting. I wouldn't recommend changing these too much unless you really want to make room on the page. You can make the picture less opaque or more opaque if you had a desire to do that. We're going to leave it at the default. And then down here at the bottom, you can put a border around the picture. Solid, double dotted, dashed, or groove. We're going to use solid. And the size of the border type is going to be a number 1. We make it very thin. And then the border radius, we can make it rounded if we want. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Or leave it square. And then the last thing I want to show you here is the box shadow. If you just click this pencil, it actually puts a shadow behind the picture. So it kind of lifts the picture off the page and makes it look a little more professional. Okay. One second. All right. So, all right. So now on the right side, last thing I'm going to show you is how to pull in the form from your email service provider. In your email service provider package, you can create, most email service providers allow you to do this. You can create a form to pull in subscribers to your email list from any page that you embed the form on. So I'm going to navigate over to my, let me stop sharing for a minute and add, I'm going to add a page. Let's see, I'm going to share that form. All right. I think you can see that. Let me see. Make sure you can see that before I move on. All right, good. I think you can see that. Hold on one second. All right. So, oh, I need to share that page, right? Hold on, guys. Now you can see it. Awesome. All right. So on this form that I've created in my ConvertKit, I called it the Creative Freebie That Works opt-in page. Somewhere in your email service provider, when you create a form, I want to take that out. Okay. So it doesn't show. You can grab the code to embed this into your web page on your website. Okay, and the way you do that is you go to publish in ConvertKit. So if you're using MailChimp, if you're using ActiveCampaign, somewhere in there should be a place for you to grab the JavaScript code or the HTML code to embed it into your web page. Here in ConvertKit, it's under this button called Publish. And so I've created this form, email address, first name. Actually, I want to switch these. So I want first name to be first, the first field. All right, I'm going to hit Publish. And a box comes up where I can either choose the JavaScript, the HTML code. I don't want to use that, so I'm going to use the JavaScript. And I'm going to click this button to grab this code. And then I'm going to navigate back to my freebie page. And I think I need to share that. So hold on. 1 second. I want to share that page with my peoples. Is it sharing? Nope. Hold on. There it is. Okay. So over here on the right, you see we have a blank space, right? So we're going to go up here to our little widget icon. So our widgets show up. And we're going to look for an icon called HTML. And this icon right here, we're going to click and drag it over till it's right there. And if you notice, it goes to the top of the page or the top of the column area. And so what we want to do is we want to make it so that it's in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the HTML widget so it's active over here on the left. I'm sorry, we're going to click on the column because what we want to do is we want to tell the column to put all of the elements in the column in the middle of the column. Right now it's at the top. So click on the column icon here. And the vertical align is going to be middle and the horizontal align is going to be center. So now this HTML widget, when you look at it now, it's in the middle of the column. So now we're going to click on this box here to make the HTML widget active over on the left. And all you do is you paste that code that you grabbed from your email service provider. That's it. Okay. Now, because this doesn't really look like a really great opt-in page, I'm going to change this to a one-column opt-in page, right? Right now there are two. So you might be saying, Wendy, how are you going to do that? All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this opt-in widget or this HTML widget, and I'm going to drag it over underneath this text. And when I see the blue bar, I'm going to drop it. Then I'm going to delete this column so that everything moves to the middle of the screen. Okay. And if you notice here, the opt-in form is kind of left flush to the left, and that doesn't look really good. So what we want to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit of code here. Don't freak out. It's really easy. I want to center it. So I'm going to type over here on the left the open tag. That's what that character is. The word center and close tag. And what Elementor does automatically is it automatically puts in a closing tag. So this is an open tag, HTML tag, and this is a closed. So anything that's in the middle of these two tags will be centered. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this JavaScript code that I pasted, and I'm going to copy it or cut it and then put it in the center so that the open tag is in the front, then there's this JavaScript, and then the close tag is at the end. So now everything is centered. Okay. And then I'm also going to center this text here. And to do that, I click on the item, go to Style, and click Center here in the alignment. So now everything is centered on the screen. Okay. It still looks pretty basic, but all I really wanted to do was show you how easy it is to build your own page here on your website. an opt-in page. You could also, this also could be a core page on your website, right? So if I wanted to start over, there is even a much shorter way to do this. And that's what I'm going to close with today. So let's say you wanted to start over on this page. Everything that you've done up to this point has been saved in history. So if you go down here to the left, bottom left where it says history, you'll see every single thing I've done on this page. Okay, every single thing. And if I wanted to start at the beginning, all I'd have to do is click editing started and everything would be wiped clean. Okay. Ooh, well, I guess I saved it. It only went back a few. Okay, so it kept the first few things that I did, but to get rid of this, all you would have to do is click this X here and everything would be gone. Okay, so let's say you wanted to turn this page into an about page. And you can say, Wendy, I really don't want to do all that, build it from scratch. Well, Elementor has templates. So this bubble right here with the white folder on it, if you click that, something will open up called your Elementor library, and it has ready-made templates or blocks of elements put together that you can use. Wireframes, we call them in the web design industry, but some of these templates also have images and filler text that you can start with and change to be your own. Okay, there's also a tab here called blocks, and in this area there's blocks of information that you can build a page with. Okay, so there are very, very simple ways to build a web page with Elementor using these elements. There's even a tab here called My Templates, which are several things that I've saved over the years. I started using Elementor back in 2018. Here's some of my first templates that I saved. So I've amassed lots and lots of templates over the years. And what I do is I will create a section that I like that has my branding on it and my information. And I would use them over and over again so I wouldn't have to start from scratch. Let's choose one. Let's insert. Let's insert this landing page. This is an entire page that this is something I created back in 2019. And what it's going to do is going to insert that template right into this page. And this happens to be a template I created for an offer that I was, for an offer I created to help someone build a freebie page or an opt-in page when they were starting their business. And so I created this, and I would just change the picture out for any client that I was working for, change the font so it looks like, so it's their fonts for their brand, add their social media icons, and then I would ask them to send me their embed code, right? Or this is an actual contact form widget that I pulled in from the Elements for Elementor, where if someone came to this website and put in their name, email, and message, the owner of the webpage would just get an email. And this was for someone just starting out in their business, as we were, sometimes it would say coming soon or website under construction. If you want to contact me, fill out the form. And the website owner would get an email sent to whatever email address they gave me, very simply. And then all you do is hit publish and it's live on the website. So Elementor is a great tool to use if you don't want to use a web designer or you want to design a page on your own. I encourage you to check it out. Oops, what did I do? Let me go back to the studio. There I am. I encourage you to check it out. Reach out to me if you'd like me to show you some things, some more things with Elementor. But it's basically a drag and drop system. You can change the fonts, you can change the color of the fonts, you can change the style of the fonts, you can add pictures, you can add opt-in forms. You can embed PDF images on the website, and then if you can set it up so that when the person clicks it, it downloads the PDF. There are a multitude of things you can do with Elementor. You don't need to build your web pages from scratch. Okay, so let's see. Do we have any questions? Hi, Aura. I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook, you can also leave a comment below. If you're watching this on the replay, I'd love your feedback. I'd love to hear more about what you would like to do with Elementor. Elementor has, in the last 4 years, really changed from when they first started. So there's lots of things that I'm still discovering with this tool, but it gives you the flexibility, it gives you the ease, and the um, it gives you the ability to customize your web pages. You don't have to be restricted to whatever your theme gives you. You don't have to wait for a web designer to change or to add something to your website when you use this plugin with your website theme. All right. So give me a buzz. Give me a comment and I'll answer it, or on YouTube or Facebook if you have questions. And I'm signing off for today. I'll see you next week with more about automating your business so you can do business online. Take care.